What's up guys, welcome to my channel. Today we will be talking about the GoPro Hero Black and we'll be discussing why it's still a great camera in 2021. We will be going over the build quality, the specs, and some of the features that make this a great camera. The link to this camera is down in the description just in case you are interested in picking one up after watching this video. Also make sure you hit the subscribe button because it really helps. With all of that out the way, let's get into the video. Okay, so all of the footage that you see in this video has been shot with the GoPro Hero 8 Black. The only footage in this video that has not been shot with the GoPro is the talking head that you see right here. This was shot with the Canon EOS R. So with that out the way, let's talk about when I use this camera on set. I mostly use this camera for underwater shots. It is really nice to have a camera that I can just grab and get footage underwater. Most of the time, it's whenever the host or guest catches a fish and is about to release it, as you see in this footage. Sometimes we will hire swimmers as well to put on swimming clothes and use the camera to get underwater shots of the fish coming up as the fish is being caught. We don't do that every show, but when we do it, we get some really awesome footage. While out on the water, I also use the GoPro for B-roll shots. Shots where I put the GoPro on a 3-foot stick and get cool shots of the boat when it's on a plane, the water spraying on the side, all that cool stuff. I also get shots of the motor underwater, all kind of shots that you wouldn't be able to get with a cinema camera. Those are the shots I get with a GoPro, like really shots that are risky that will ruin a cinema camera. That's the ones I use for the GoPro. So now that you guys know what I use this camera for, let's talk about why I think this is an amazing camera. First thing is the camera quality. It shoots in 4K 60, 2.7, 120, 1080, 240. Not only does it have great resolutions, it also shoots at a pretty high bit rate. So if you have to do any color correcting or color grading, you can do that pretty easy without worrying about the image getting, funky looking. It also has really good dynamic range. Having good dynamic range is always helpful so you don't have any blown out portions of the frame. Always a good thing. Another awesome thing about this camera is the linear mode. Shooting in linear mode will fool a lot of people into thinking that you're shooting on a different camera than what you're actually shooting on. Most earlier GoPros, you could tell right away when you see the footage that it was shot with a GoPro because it had that warp effect to it. The GoPro Hero 8 Black, if you put it in linear mode, you can't tell the difference in shooting with a regular camera with the f-stop at around 9 or 10. Because that one time when I was in Mexico, we shot an entire show with the GoPro Hero 8 Black.
That's a good one, Ty. What you think?
I don't think so.
You don't think?
No.
Just a 5-pounder? Yeah.
He's just a giant.
He's just a giant. Oh man, look at that sucker.
He's just a jig fish.
Yeah, boy, but that's a pretty good. God, that's a nice one. Fat turkey.
Where did it go? What? Double? I'm gonna hold him. That's the hook.
Yeah. Big Daddy ride.
Big Daddy.
There we go.
Come on. Come on.
Big double. Woo, what an incredible double hookup, baby.
Yes, sir.
On the jig with the Cinco.
Yes.
Just to give you some perspective, we shot a total of 10 shows while I was in Mexico. One of those days we were shooting, it was raining cats and dogs, like raining really bad. I mean pouring down extremely bad rain. So what I did was put the cinema camera in a garbage bag. I hit record, all it was recording was the audio. So while that camera was recording audio, I shot the whole show with a GoPro Hero 8. Everything except the interview, of course. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna shoot the interview with a GoPro. As you see in this footage, it was raining extremely hard, so while editing this show, I could not tell at all that it was GoPro footage. The footage looked honestly amazing. After sending the show to the network, it passed QC with no problems. Not even a question was asked. The reason I bring that up is before when we shot with the older GoPros, if we used too much GoPro, it would fail QC and they would make us switch out footage. There is only a certain amount of GoPro footage you can use in a TV show. But with the GoPro Hero 8 Black, it passed QC with no problem, and the whole fishing portion of the show was shot with a GoPro. That was a little besides the point, but I wanted to share that with you guys. As you saw in the B-roll footage, it looked amazing. It really did. It was a great show. Okay, so with all that out the way, the next thing I want to talk about is stabilization. This GoPro has some of the best stabilization I've ever seen on a camera. Yes, I know it is an action camera, but it still has amazing stabilization. While I was shooting the show with the GoPro Hero 8, not one time did I have to use warp stabilization in Premiere Pro. That is how good it is. We shot for about 4 hours and didn't have to use warp stabilization, not even once, in a 22-minute show. Pretty awesome, to be honest. Even when I use it for running shots, it is extremely stable. It's ridiculous. The build quality on these GoPros, honestly, there's not that much to say about it. They're built like a tank. I've had both of mine for over a year now, and the wear and tear is really not that noticeable at all. There's really not that much to say about the build quality. One thing I will say is I shoot with these GoPros more than I ever thought I would. So just a side note real quick before I get back on track, is these cameras are great for a backup camera. You mount a GoPro on top of your cinema camera and you will always have a great shot. You don't have to worry about a shot accidentally being out of focus or overexposed. You know the GoPro is going to get a good shot. Of course, that is just for once in a blue moon mess ups. The GoPro will save you. The negative thing I could say about the build quality though is you can't change the lenses. That would be nice if you could scratch up the lens and you could change it out. Definitely a negative about the build quality is you cannot change out the lenses. That part does suck. But sorry I got off on a little rant right there. These GoPros are awesome for a backup camera. You stick it on top of your cinema camera, hit record, and if you're recording something and say something might be out of focus and you still want to use that shot, you got that shot on a GoPro. Shooting with 4K, crop it into where you need it to be, it'll look great. Pretty awesome. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about is the live streaming feature on this GoPro. It works great and it streams at 1080p, which is really awesome. I've used it several times when I used to play drums at my church live, and I would go live on Facebook or YouTube. I still play drums at my church, but I don't go live anymore. It works really great. The sound quality of this stream always is awesome too, because I have a USB-C by auxiliary adapter. My audio always was great because I would hook it straight into the board, which reminds me about the sound quality of this GoPro. I can't forget about that. I almost did. So the audio is not terrible. You know, it's not that bad, but the GoPro Hero 6 was a lot worse. This camera is pretty usable for scratch audio or if you're in a pinch and you have to use it. But they have so many good accessories for audio. I would not recommend using the audio straight out of this camera. Hook up a wireless lapel or mic or something. Just don't use the audio. I mean, unless you're in a pinch, you know. In conclusion, I highly recommend picking up this GoPro if you want to save a few dollars and still get great footage. Right now on Amazon, the GoPro Hero 8 Black is going for $299 and the GoPro Hero 9 is going for $399. So I really do think it's worth the money. It's worth saving the money. With that being said, thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. The link to this GoPro Hero 8 is down in the description. So make sure you have a good day.